Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Diamond Mom. If you're new here, you're very much welcome. Thank you for stopping by. I film about motherhood, relationship and lifestyle. To my returning subscribers, thank you guys for always coming back. So today's video is a very important video. I'll be discussing something very important, especially in pregnancy, because I believe it will help you to be more cautious and to work towards a healthy pregnancy and delivery. So in today's video, I'll be talking about preeclampsia. Yes, preeclampsia. I'm sure you must have heard of this. Before ever getting pregnant, I've never heard of this before. But when I got pregnant, I started to read, and then I came across preeclampsia, how it has to do with your high blood pressure and all those stuffs. But I didn't really pay much importance to it because, of course, my blood pressure has always been on the normal level before pregnancy and even after some months into pregnancy. Until it actually happened to me. It came like a shock to me that I, of all people, can actually be a victim of preeclampsia. Well, I'm here to share my story, my experience, and all my learning with you guys so that you can actually prevent it. And also, in case you're currently dealing with this preeclampsia now, or you know anyone who is currently going through this now, I'll be sharing some trusted ways that can be used to manage this preeclampsia and to ensure that you actually deliver your baby safe and sound. Because one of the dangers of preeclampsia is that it usually takes the life of the mother and the child. In cases where it doesn't affect the mother so much, it usually damages the child, either leading to death or some neonatal defect. So I'll be sharing with you how to achieve a safe delivery, even though you've been diagnosed of having preeclampsia. Yes, you can have a safe delivery. I had a safe delivery and my child is very much okay, and he met all his milestones on time. Even some, he met them ahead of time. Please ensure to subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss out on any valuable topics I will be discussing in this channel, and let us get on board. So first of all, what is preeclampsia? Now, preeclampsia is a condition that arises in pregnancy. In rare cases, it can arise after delivery, but it still has to do with pregnancy. Now, it is a condition that arises in pregnancy that is usually characterized by high blood pressure, protein in your urine, that is proteinuria, and edema. Now, these are the major characteristics, these are the major telltale signs of preeclampsia. If you're pregnant and you've been attending your antenatal, it is very much important for you to always check your blood pressure. However, a slight increase in your blood pressure or a high blood pressure do not always mean that you have preeclampsia, because you need to also have protein in your urine and edema for you to be a patient of preeclampsia. Also, take note that edema is also one of the common symptoms of pregnancy. By edema, I mean water or fluid retention in your body, in your cells, in your tissues, or in any part of your body, majorly in your leg, your face, and your hands. During pregnancy, you would notice that majority of pregnant women usually have edema. However, having only edema without protein in your urine or a high blood pressure does not also mean that you have preeclampsia. But when you have 3 of these symptoms, or at least 2 of these symptoms, then it is an indication that you just might have preeclampsia. Preeclampsia is very dangerous in pregnancy, because even though it might actually go unnoticed in your body, or it might not really give you any physical or overtly danger sign in your body, it is very dangerous, because if it is not well managed during pregnancy, it can lead to so many organ damages in your body. Now, let us actually look at it one by one. Being that preeclampsia makes the blood pressure of the mother to be high, it is a danger to the heart, because hypertension means that the arteries in your heart pumping out blood to other aspects of your body is now pumping it at a faster pressure, at a faster rate. This is actually applying too much pressure on your heart, and it can actually damage the heart. Another danger of this preeclampsia is that it can also damage the lungs, causing difficulty or shortness in breathing. Now, how and why does this affect the lung? Because if you have excessive fluid in your body, now this one actually affected me because I was so swollen from my head to my feet, like every part of my body that you can think of. No part was exempted. Now, because there is excessive fluid in your body, your lungs is also covered with water, thereby making it difficult for you to breathe properly, because your lungs is responsible for your respiratory system, of course. So there will be difficulty breathing. And also the kidney, it affects the kidney, yes, because I was this close. In fact, will I say my kidneys were already getting affected in my own case, because when you have protein in your urine, of course, you know that your kidney is very much important in you taking out urine from your body. Now, when you have protein in your urine, protein are like tiny particles that can also lead to kidney stones or enlarged kidney and all those things. See, preeclampsia is very, very dangerous because it does not just affect only the woman's body. It actually targets the woman's organ, and also it affects the baby. I would explain. Preeclampsia also affects the baby in the womb, because since preeclampsia makes the woman to be a patient of hypertension, the pregnant woman's arteries is affected. It would affect the flow of blood to the placenta, and we all know that placenta is the lifeguard of any unborn baby in the womb. So imagine a situation whereby the arteries that supply blood to the placenta is being affected. Of course, there will be shortage of oxygen, blood, and essential nutrients in supply to the baby. And this is why pregnant women with preeclampsia always give birth to underweight baby and preterm baby. Yes, because for my baby, I gave birth to him as 2.1 kg. He was really underweight, and also would always be delivered prematurely, because the more you prolong pregnancy, if you have preeclampsia, the more damage it would continue to make to the woman's organ. And that is why professionals will always advise you to induce labor, to induce delivery as soon as the woman hits 36 weeks. Yes, because as soon as you hit 36 weeks, it is at least assumed that, okay, the baby is already in the first mark of the 9th month. At least some vital organs are already developed to be able to survive in the outside world. So as soon as the woman, the pregnant woman with preeclampsia, hits 36 weeks, she's usually advised to go in for delivery, either vagina or C-section, as the case might be. But in most cases, a woman with preeclampsia is usually advised to go for C-section. Why? To avoid a case of it generating into eclampsia when you are pushing. Women with preeclampsia are not advised to go for vaginal delivery, because if you are pushing, if you attempt vaginal delivery, you will be doing more harm to your body, and you might actually result in giving yourself seizures. And also, because if you have preeclampsia, it actually affects the baby. Now, you don't want to stress a baby that is underweight, that has not been feeding well due to preeclampsia in the body. You don't want to stress the baby by actually pushing the baby, because during vaginal delivery, both the mother and the baby actually work hand in hand to make sure that there is a successful push. Now, you don't want to subject a baby that is underweight and that has not been feeding well to the rigorous process of pushing. That is why any woman diagnosed with preeclampsia is usually advised, in fact, is usually booked for a C-section. And that was how it was in my own case. Now, preeclampsia doesn't begin from the beginning of your pregnancy. No, it doesn't begin from your first week or from your first trimester or from your second trimester. It usually begins after the 20th week. And for my own case, mine began when I was 29 weeks. I went to the hospital for antenatal, and on checking my blood pressure, it was noticed that it was 140/110, like very high compared to what I usually have, 110, 120/70 or 80. And also, I saw that there were traces of protein in my urine. And at this point in time, I started to have small swelling in my body. So That was how I was diagnosed and confirmed to have preeclampsia in my first pregnancy. I actually asked what can be done. In fact, why did this come up? What did I do? Why did this happen to me? And I wasn't giving any positive response. But then I want to believe that I had preeclampsia in my first pregnancy because I did not manage what I ate and my weight. I was overweight in my first pregnancy, and I felt that this actually opened the door for me to develop preeclampsia because I wasn't really living a healthy lifestyle. I wasn't exercising. I was eating too much, consuming too much soda, consuming too much eggs in a day, and I wasn't active. So I believe I actually contributed to me having preeclampsia in my first pregnancy due to the kind of lifestyle I adopted. It has been found out preeclampsia affects mostly first-time moms. So if this is your first pregnancy or you're yet to get pregnant, I would advise that you live a healthy lifestyle. Try to maintain a healthy weight so that you don't get high blood pressure that might now degenerate into preeclampsia and other life-threatening conditions in pregnancy. Another thing you need to know about preeclampsia is that it can last for up to 6 weeks after delivery. Yes, in my case, my blood pressure did not just go down, and the water retention in my body, all the fluid that has been retained in my body did not just go down at once. It went down gradually for up to 6 weeks. So even after delivery, I was still placed on some drugs to actually help me manage the preeclampsia and get me to a healthy state. Contrary to what people would believe, that you had preeclampsia in your first pregnancy doesn't mean that you must have it in your second pregnancy. Yes, I've been pregnant twice and I had it in my first pregnancy. And in my second pregnancy, I was conscious. I was intentional on living a healthy lifestyle. I was eating moderately, exercising moderately, being physically active, and I did not have preeclampsia with my second pregnancy. So no, you must not have preeclampsia in all your pregnancies. You might have it the first time or you might have it the second time. It doesn't mean you would ever have it again. And also that you have preeclampsia doesn't mean it must affect your child or it might lead to the death of your child, especially when it is detected on time and it is well managed. So you can have preeclampsia and still give birth to your child healthy, and that child will not be affected. There is a higher chance that the child would be affected if not well managed. But if you listen to your doctor's advice and you stick to the medications that was given to you, I believe you will be able to survive preeclampsia and give birth to a healthy child. At least I survived it, and I gave birth to my child even though he was underweight. He was 2.1 at birth, but 11 days later, he moved up to 2.7 kg. And since then, he has never had any issues. He met all his milestones exactly, even ahead of time. So it doesn't always mean that it would affect your child, or it might lead to cerebral palsy or all those congenital deformations, especially if the child is given birth to via C-section. A C-section delivery is the end line for preeclampsia in pregnancy. You should consider having a C-section because it would actually save your life and also the life of your unborn baby. If you have preeclampsia in your pregnancy, you should expect anything. Like you should expect any kind of sickness, ranging from seizures, vomiting, headaches, gastritis, organ failure, kidney, lungs, liver, heart, anything. But you should not be afraid, because if you're under medication and you are abiding strictly by your doctor's instructions, you'll be able to come out of it safe. When I had preeclampsia, I also had severe gastritis in my stomach because of the excessive fluid that has been deposited in me. I was always having this severe biting and these severe pains for like up to 1 month in my pregnancy because I already had preeclampsia. Also, after a scan, it was also discovered that water had already started to, climb up to my lungs, and my kidneys were also getting affected. So that was why I had to consider an emergency C-section. Like the day I had a scan that actually showed that my kidneys were getting affected and water was was already covering up to my lungs, I signed for my emergency C-section that day. And I can tell you that that is the best decision I have ever made in my life, because I actually saved not only a life, but I saved 2 lives. So a C-section is always usually the end line and a safe option when you have preeclampsia. So if you feel like if you have preeclampsia but you still want to consider vaginal delivery because of course you're still fit, you might just need to reconsider and consider the pros and cons of it, and take the right decisions, and also abide by the advice of your doctors, because they know better. They have handled so many cases and they'll be able to tell you the right thing to do. So anything that would ensure that you deliver safely with preeclampsia. But I want to assure you that yes, you can have a safe delivery even if you have preeclampsia, even if you are swollen, even if you have gastritis induced by preeclampsia, even if you have any organ issues due to preeclampsia, you can still deliver safely. You can be healthy as well as your baby. You just need to make some sacrifices, and with time you will come out safe and sound with a healthy and a fine baby. So guys, I hope you found this video informative enough, for you to know everything or most things you need to know about preeclampsia. If you found this video informative, please give this video a thumbs up. Also share this video out. Share this video out to so many women, pregnant women, every woman out there. Like, we need to know that things like this exist, and we need to know how to navigate it when it happens to us. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.